Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Bad Moon's Orbit. I am, as always, your Blight Templar, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darien Smart, number one artist. And I'm Darien Smart, number one student at St. Thomas's Art Academy.
Ooh,
Y'all should watch Love Through the Prism. It's on Netflix.
Good.
It's great.
I'm into it, yeah.
Super fun.
But yes, today we are here for a very different kind of episode. A very, previously we had our episodes covering the realms, kind of the history that led us into the Age of Sigmar. And we've been going kind of faction by faction, talking about stuff. But I wanted to do something a little bit different with this one because this is a rare opportunity that we have. Today, we are talking about Warhammer Quest Darkwater.
Whoa! And Dalton, what's that?
I'm glad you asked because it's the first thing in my notes.
Hooray! I know how to participate.
But before I answer that, Darien, do you have a game thing to talk about this week?
Do I have a game thing to talk about this week? Yeah! I just re-listened to Adventure Zone Balance.
Hell yeah.
I do that every year between Christmas and New Year's, like starting on Christmas Day through into the New Year. And so I probably talked about this last year. I don't know, man. This episode's coming out in like April, March. I don't know.
Yeah, probably March.
But it is the actual play D&D podcast hosted by the McElroys. And it's my favorite story of all time. And I love specifically the Balance arc. And I love it so much. And I recommend everybody read the graphic novels because it's a very successful adaptation of this story. And I don't need to go on for 15 minutes about why this podcast is great. That would be self-indulgent, I think. But it's excellent and I love it. And it made me rethink how I want to tell stories and the kind of stories I want to tell and what I hope folks take away from the stories I can offer.
Yeah. It's good. The graphic novels are good. They're my favorite thing in the world, which is a creator returning to a thing that they made with new experience, with new insight, and being able to make a more clear, more focused version of it.
Yeah, especially with the early part of the graphic novel adaptation, the first couple arcs of the campaign, because the McElroys come from a comedy improv space. So when they started doing this, which was originally just supposed to be a one-off bonus episode when one of the brothers was about to go on paternity leave, so they just brought their dad in to play D&D together. It was just supposed to be let's make jokes, let's goof off, this isn't anything serious. And then not very quickly, but eventually evolved into still being comedic, right? Still looking for what's entertaining, what's humorous, what's fun, but a much stronger investment in the narrative they were all telling together and their own characters as being full characters and not just a silly mouthpiece of, I am a wizard named after Mexican food. Anyway, my cat's name is Taco. So, but yeah, and then we have the graphic novels have the luxury of getting to be the fully realized version of the characters from the start.
Yes. Rather
than having to go through a lot of experiment and figuring it out until we're oh, here is that version of the character I love so much.
Yes. Absolutely.
And but I still love revisiting the podcast because that rough element of it is a part of the thing I love so much. Because what do you mean I've listened to it 7 times? So sorry. Yes, 7 times. And I still cry at the end.
Yeah.
Out of joy, out of love, out of hope. And in the 3rd episode, someone asks, should I be horny after killing this goblin? What do you mean? Yeah, how does that make me, how do we get to that point? And it's incredible that it does. And that's part of the thing that I love so deeply about the podcast. But I do mostly recommend the graphic novel before I recommend a stranger the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep with the D&D theme and talk about, I was already talking to Darien about it before we started recording. I'm back on my Baldur's Gate 3 honor mode run grind. It's the last thing I haven't done. I love Baldur's Gate 3. It's one of the best games ever made. And I had a string before I got sick last year where I was doing honor mode runs, and I got a couple really, really far. I had a couple of losses to the Act 2 final boss. Oof. Tried to jump back in over this weekend, being I remember how all this goes, all my muscle memory and threat assessment and being able to read a encounter is still intact. Absolutely. So anyways, I'm on my like 7th character for this honor mode run. Couple of sorcerers, couple of wizards. Currently doing pretty good as a Oath of Crown paladin. So
Nice.
that's been fun, except that I accidentally made Gale mad.
Oh no!
So now I am going to have to fight the final boss for real, but so it goes.
So it goes.
That's not what we're here to talk about today. Today we are talking about Warhammer Quest Darkwater. And as Darien asked, what is a Darkwater? What is a Warhammer Quest? So,
I don't know.
yeah.
You tell me.
Yeah. Warhammer Quest is it's probably appropriate to call it a spin-off of like Warhammer proper. It is not a war game, but it is a series of board games that usually share some like elements, some like aspects of mechanics, either with like main Warhammer or with other Warhammer Quest games, but not always, and use that to tell smaller scale stories within the setting. There have been a couple of Age of Sigmar Warhammer Quests. There was the Silver Tower, which was about a band of heroes busting into a silver tower, which is Tzeentch's like extra dimensional like fortresses. There was one a couple years ago called the Cursed City. We've actually talked about it a little bit before because that was brought up during our Soulblight episode. Oh, that's where the like raider pirate captain guy who took the vampire curse is from Cursed City, and like the guy who can turn into rats is from Cursed City. Cool. So that was another Warhammer Quest. But rather than just roll this one into like the episodes associated with the factions that are connected to it, I felt like it would be fun to give it its own episode. Yeah. So that's what we're doing here today. So Warhammer Quest Darkwater is the latest Warhammer Quest board game. Not a sales pitch.
Not a sales pitch.
Not a sales pitch. Though I hear it's fun, but I don't know. I haven't played it. I just read all the booklets and stuff so that I would be able to make this episode. But yeah. So let's talk about the titular Darkwater, except that like nothing in the book is actually called that. It's just
just a cool sounding name.
Yeah, it's just a fanciful name. There is like ominousness and water, so it's an appropriate name, I feel like.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's Darkwater. A neat thing about Warhammer Quest games broadly, and this one specifically as well, is that while it has like Warhammer, like Games Workshop miniatures for the board game itself, generally those miniatures make their way to the main game. So you play this little adventure about people in a desperate circumstance, and then narratively and mechanically you can be like, all right, and then we did that, and cool, and we're going to take these folks and put them in my main Warhammer army after they've done their thing.
That's fun.
And that's fun. Yeah, that's neat.
Is it like you keep saying it's like a board game. Like it has a board? Like
this is not a book that I bought separately. I'm borrowing this book from my good buddy Mike, who has the game. Part of the appeal of Warhammer Quest and some of their other like smaller scale like specialist games is what we call the like one box advantage, where you just buy Warhammer Quest Darkwater, and then you play Warhammer Quest Darkwater. It's not like playing main Age of Sigmar. It's not like playing a bigger Warhammer game where like you need miniatures and a rule book and like dice and measuring utensils and like all these like accoutrements. Yeah. It's just its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have like the minis, and the minis can just be put into your army.
Yeah. So Darkwater isn't like an in-universe thing. It's just the name of the game. So what is the in-universe thing?
Yes, I was going to ask, like, where are we at?
So Darkwater takes place at a locale known as the Jade Abbey.
Okay.
The Jade Abbey is a construction. It's a religious like building on Ghyran, the realm of life, under the protection of Alariel. And during the Age of Myth, it was a super important, like, cultural location. Imagine it like St. Peter's Basilica, like Petra, like just this massive construction that a ton of effort was put into. It's a big, important religious center. And specifically during the Age of Myth, the Jade Abbey was founded on a mixture of Alariel and Sigmar's followers.
I was going to ask that.
Yes.
In the previous episode with the elves, we talked about how Alariel does not identify with the elves. She does not identify as like being like the Ever Queen.
No.
Is it right? Ever Queen?
Yeah. She's the Ever Queen, but she's not like the elven Ever Queen.
But she's like she's still a goddess. So I was like, yeah, thank you. Hey, why is it Ever Queen and Ever Chosen?
Words.
No, I know. And I know those are not two related concepts, and I know they're totally differently, but what I'm just saying is I feel like someone in the process should have been like, no. No, we can't have ever being used twice like this. What the hell, gang?
Yeah, I think it's just circumstantial.
It's just circumstantial. Yeah. And that happens in real life, too. But this isn't real life. This is a game. Someone makes these choices.
There's 9 rivers in England called Avon. But yeah, absolutely. Alariel does not see herself as like an elven goddess anymore. She just sees herself as the goddess of life. It is her job to shepherd and watch over all of life, regardless of like where it originates. And she embraces that like life is beautiful and symbiotic and like wholesome, but it's also terrifying and like weird and creepy sometimes because life is multifaceted.
Yeah. Hey, I have a new question that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Does she have influence on the other realms that aren't Ghyran?
Sometimes, not as strongly.
Okay.
Because Alariel is tied into Ghyran in such a way that like she can pop up anywhere on Ghyran.
Yeah.
Especially like the height of her power that's been curtailed because Nurgle is in control of such a huge swath of Ghyran. But in her prime, like absolutely she could travel Ghyran in an instant.
Yeah.
Nowadays she turns into a swarm of dragonflies to travel, which is
cool.
First class.
Dope as hell.
But
just, I remember like they're gods, but they're like gods of these places, but they're like a pantheon of deities. And like Nagash is the death god, and so he's over here on Hish. Hish is light.
You're pretty close. Shaiish.
Shaiish, thank you. He's over on, and so I guess I've just realized that if someone that lives on like Gur is like, but I'm super down with Alariel, or is that crazy and would never happen?
That's not crazy, and actually one of the characters we're going to talk about today is a person from Gur who worships Alariel.
Fuck yeah! Oh my gosh! Okay, let's keep going. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, the elves we talked about last episode, some of them worship Alariel as like the Everqueen as like an elven goddess, which is a like interpretation that she would not support, but they're definitely still worshiping her as a life goddess.
That one specifically feels like it's coming from like an older cultural tradition.
Yes,
and not like quite so like organic of as things are now.
Yeah, it's broadly, and we're going to see this a lot in when we talk about the cities of Sigmar, especially. There aren't really true monotheists hardly in Age of Sigmar.
I mean, that would be kind of crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple of hardliners because it's not about belief, it's about allegiance, right? Because you will find hardliners, you will find people who's like Sigmar all the way because like I'm just about the things he's about. But more frequently, you will find people who have like a principal deity or a deity that they most align with, but pay homage or pay tribute when appropriate to other deities. Like people who live on Shaiish, even if they don't like Nagash, will still like honor Nagash's like funerary rites.
They
and
have
stuff.
to.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite bits in the core rulebook, the entry on Gur is narrated by like a Wildercore hunter, just like a ranger, someone who goes out and like scouts the wilderness and stuff. And he's got like because it's written in like a journalistic style, like he's being interviewed. And he's got such a fun line where he's like, yeah, of course, like I'm loyal to Sigmar. Of course I worship Sigmar. Like by his grace, by his providence, we're here in these untamed wilds able to like live the life that we live. And like, I would never trade that for anything. And the priest will like me saying this, but when I'm facing down like 100 head of rampaging boar, it's not who I call on.
Oh.
And the implication is that because someone asked him a question about Gorka Morka. And so that's the implication is like, okay, yeah, Sigmar, stability, civilization, etc. But in a life or die situation, maybe you need the god of destruction instead in this moment.
Like, fascinating. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's really cool.
Absolutely. And then into the Age of Sigmar, people can call upon Alariel, like she's still a goddess in all of the traditional aspects. She's also not bound to her plane like some of the gods are. Malarian can't leave Olgu. It's unclear if Tyrion and Teclis can leave Hish. It's kind of implied yes, but we don't or rather it was implied no for a little while, but that hasn't been like restated in a bit, so it's like
so maybe
who's to say. But Alariel can leave Ghyran. She used to attend meetings in Azir. During the Age of Sigmar, she's like doing the full-throated defensive Ghyran, but her Sylvaneth will venture into the other realms to establish enclaves.
Cool.
Both as a point of like, okay, we have a little grove here now so we can help nearby settlements and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but also just to like re-spread the life goddesses like influence into the realms.
Mm-hmm.
Like grove is a very intentionally selected word where they will literally just go to some barren place and plant seeds and plant trees and like grow like a
Aw.
new living place in the world.
That's tight.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. But yeah, so the Jade Abbey is founded as a combination of Alariel and Sigmar worshippers. It was meant to be this grand gesture of like collaboration, of cooperation, because you'll remember too, when Sigmar first went to Alariel, she said, yeah, I'll be part of your alliance, but don't come trying to like tame the wild parts of the world here, right? Like, I don't truck with you. We are like opposed domains. And so I'll be friendly, but don't use that as like leverage on me. And so this is meant to replicate that, where the Jade Abbey is a construction. It's an edifice of civilization. It's a thing that was built intentionally with purpose, but it is set into this like grand jungle and like partially built out of the trees that surround it. And like, it's a mixture of these two ideas to show that they can work in harmony.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like it quite a bit. These clerics come to be known as the Jade Circle. And while initially it's we have some Sigmarites, we have some like Alariel worshippers, eventually the Jade Circle just kind of becomes its own like syncretic religion, where you are just kind of a worshipper of both.
That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. And you get elements of that where like one of the weird things about the Jade Abbey is their dedication to like crop cultivation and stuff like that, because what is like a domesticated crop if not a like mixture of the civilizing influences of like structure and order on wild things? Right. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm into that.
So specifically the reason why, so that's the initial like impetus for why we're doing this project. But part of the reason why the location was chosen for the Jade Abbey is that there is a powerful, it feels weird to call it an artifact because it's more just like it's like a place of power. Like an aspect of the world here that is worth guarding, worth defending and tending. Called the Everspring. We got our third ever.
Hey, but that one's fine because Alariel's here.
I was gonna say it's intentional because the Everspring is connected to Alariel through some mixture of, the book doesn't go into like super good detail, but it's some mixture of like Alariel's influence on Ghyran, Ghyran's influence on Alariel, and subsequently just the weirdness of places that are highly suffused in like magical power. The Everspring is like a font of Alariel's divinity. Yeah, it has the same kind of power that Alariel is able to express, but as a like wellspring, as like a literal source of water in the world that can be like tended and cultivated.
Cool.
That is kind of weird because so if you'll remember, one of the big things about Ghyran is Aqua Gyranus.
I was about to say Aqua Gyranus, which is a byproduct of the actual.
Cycle Stone. Again, thank you. Commenter. But yeah, Aqua Gyranus is like a distillation of Cycle Stone that has healing properties, and you can use Aqua Gyranus to water your crops, and they'll stay watered for months.
Nice.
Yeah, just like
that's crazy.
Yeah, right. All sorts of cool stuff that you can do with Aqua Gyranus. Everspring water, if you drink it, will cure you of any disease. Revitalize your youth, so you can be functionally immortal if you have a like constant access to the Everspring water. And isn't Aqua Gyranus. Yeah.
It's just this other
It's just
thing.
a different magical water that also heals your wounds and makes you young.
Cool.
Because, but it seems to be, so like, that's kind of weird because I feel like if they're writing this from scratch, they could have made it anything. Or they could have just made it like a never draining font of Aqua Gyranus. Like that itself
like
would
it
have
naturally,
been,
or it's like something in the environment is already producing the Aqua Gyranus from the source of the stone.
But we didn't do that.
Okay. Or you could have just made it do something different here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does seem like more potent. We have indication that you could hypothetically live forever if you had like constant access to the Everspring, whereas Aquagranus has limits. We've mentioned him a couple of times, but we haven't talked about him intensely. We'll talk about him in today's episode. Famous bounty hunter / investigative, like journalist / detective, Hanover Toll.
Yeah.
Exclusively works for Aquagranus,
Yeah,
and it's
it's
because
the
he's
one
probably
currency
like 180 years old.
He needs it.
Yep, and it's just keeping him. But he like is old. Like he is an old man. He's got like late, aged, cynical gumshoe energy. It hasn't made him young again. It's just kept him alive.
Bruh.
Yeah. But yeah, Everspring seemingly can. So that like more potent, not Aquagranus. Kind of weird, but
cool. Okay, yeah,
cool.
sure. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's most of the like background that we get on the Jade Abbey. It is, and that's fine because its narrative purpose is not to be a thing that like exists. Its narrative purpose to be like, here's what it was, here's the reason it was built and established. What a cool thing to look back on with wistfulness, because the Jade Abbey does not exist anymore. For any meaningful account, it does not exist anymore.
Okay.
By which I mean that the building still mostly exists and the Everspring is still there, but without a clear delineation. But I'm going to guess like right at the break of the Age of Chaos, there was a betrayal from within the ranks of the Jade Circle. Yeah.
Oh no.
Within the Jade Circle, there was a member of the order named Gelgus the Pious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Despite apparently being born with bad guy name, he joined the order. He learned from it. He came up through the ranks. He was genuinely seemingly a pretty chill dude, but internally he was beset by ambition.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What a terrible thing to be beset by.
Right, that corrosive.
When you're joining an abbey.
That corrosive thing in the soul that leads us to our worst impulses. So, like, even though he did well, even though he was, like, well-liked, it was not enough for him. He had his eye on the position of High Lector. We don't know what a High Lector is in this context, but I'm going to guess it's like a bookkeeper, because I think a lector is like a book person.
I don't know, man. The term lector for me is kind of weird in my head because of the Locked Tomb series. So I don't know. A lector is whatever the narrative tells me a lector is.
I could have looked up what lector meant before this, but I didn't.
I'll look it up.
So
I'm on it.
hell yeah. Darien is the Justin McElroy of our podcast.
Definitions from Oxford Languages. A lector is a noun, a reader, especially someone who reads lessons in a church services, a person employed in a university abroad to teach their native language.
Ooh. So it is a book person. Hell
it's
yeah.
Latin for one who reads, whether aloud or not.
I wonder if it's the same root as like lecture.
Probably, right?
Because someone who reads a book.
Yeah. A lector I could see is like if you are in the context could be the one who's like reader. You're the one that's maybe communicating that information. Head speaker, head lector. You might just be the top guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the role that Gelgus had his eyes on. He wanted to be the High Lector. He thought that was something that was befitting his skills and would be prestigious. It would give him finally the sate to his ambition.
That's not how ambition.
Nope. I was going to say
never
that's
sate
the
to
issue.
ambition.
Yeah. One issue, as we've established, the Everspring can make someone immortal.
Oh.
If they have constant access to it. And given that the Abbey's job is safeguarding the Everspring, the current High Lector has been the High Lector for 300 years.
Hey, I think maybe you should find a different goal, buddy.
Yeah, right?
This one's just not attainable. The important thing about goals is they should be attainable. They should be
absolutely.
an avenue for growth, but also they should be attainable.
Yeah. Nobody improves in like big sweeps. You improve little bits at a time. Welcome to our podcast on life advice.
Hooray!
We're not a self-help podcast.
Not a self-help podcast. We talk about tabletop war games.
Which can be a form of self-help.
It can.
Listen, my life has been improved by this hobby and the people I've met through it. So.
Yay!
That's just
community.
Hobbies,
but that's
exactly.
community.
Yes, that's community. So Gelgus gets obsessed, right? He wants this position. He can't stand the idea that it's just not a thing that is achievable to him, and that ambition festers.
Not festers.
We're gonna get a lot of like festery words. Actually, this is probably a good time to point out for listeners at home the content warning for this episode. The bad guys in this board game are Nurgle aligned, so general content warning for gross diseases like injury, all the kind of like gross nasty you expect from Nurgle.
Yep.
So Gelgus, stymied in his attempt to gain power, starts looking for other options, and he is uniquely situated to stumble upon the divine domain of Nurgle.
Oh shit, bruh.
Because in addition to being the god of disease, one of Nurgle's other domains is stagnation. And it wouldn't be a well-written like story with motivations if a little bit of it wasn't also the fault of the Abbey. Like, hey, it's probably a bad power structure that your really important people can live forever, actually.
Yeah, that's not great.
No.
That's a problem.
Like, that is stagnation. Like, that is, and that stagnation allows not just Gelgus, but he is able to find other people in the Abbey who are dissatisfied with the status quo. So that circumstance opens the way for Gelgus himself to get like upset with the status quo, but it also means that it is easy for him to find allies within the Abbey.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other people that like have either they want to be able to, you know, climb up, expand their skill sets, things like that, or they don't like how this one dude is doing things, but they have to listen to him forever.
Yep. It's the road to hell is paved with good intentions for all of Gelgus's like ambition and like self-interest leading him down this path. There are probably people who originally aligned with him just because they thought it would be beneficial for the Abbey to have like a change in power structure.
Yeah, just like fresh ideas. It's important to hear multiple voices.
And so Gelgus manages to gather his like coup, basically, where they are going to depose the like heads of the Abbey to take it for themselves. And partway through that, it's revealed that like Gelgus has fully like thrown in with Nurgle.
Oof.
His deal that he made with Nurgle was for the power to do this. He is meant to pollute the Everspring.
No,
yes,
fuck.
Yes.
You know what? Because here's the thing: as soon as you said it was this Everspring that could cure any disease and like return people to their youth, I was like, "Oh, Nurgle's gonna fucking hate that."
He does. And so, like the cover gets thrown off that it's not just a power grab; it's like Gelgus influenced by the ruinous powers. Some of like the people following Gelgus defect, but a lot don't because like in for a penny, in for a pound, absolutely. And at the crux of their triumph, the Abbey calls out to Ilario for aid, but like this is part of why I think it's like the breach of the Age of Chaos. Unable to like seemingly unable or unwilling to like respond in person, Ilario does what she can and sends torrential rain to coat the Abbey. It literally floods the upper floors of the Abbey. It washes away Gelgus and his like followers. It destroys the upper floors of the Abbey, and it also washes away many of the defenders. It just fully like wipes the slate clean, basically, like foils this attempt on the Abbey, makes it so that Gelgus's forces are too weak to attempt another like go at it all at once, but also just like makes the Abbey itself like inhospitable.
Yeah, no, we all need to move.
So Abbey's ruined. Gelgus and his are washed away. Gelgus does not let this be like the final word. Nurgle is nothing if not patient. And so over the course of the seemingly like Age of Chaos into the Age of Sigmar, Gelgus makes it his personal mission to travel across Skyran as like Nurgle's influence is spreading across it. And he uses like dark ritual and whatever is at his disposal to mess with the ley lines that run to the Abbey, just corrupting the like flow of magic that leads to it. Because in the immediate aftermath after the flood, what members of the Abbey were left put up like wards and stuff to protect the Everspring, and those wouldn't be breachable by like the power that Gelgus has access to at this time.
Yeah.
So he is just playing the long game, corrupting ley lines, like building power to eventually like make his march on the Abbey once more when the wards are weak, and finally fulfill his obligation to Nurgle to corrupt the Everspring. During that time, to continue his dark work, Gelgus earns Dark Apotheosis, the thing that turns you into a demon prince. He is made into a demon prince so that he can continue his work, fulfill his obligation.
Of course.
And that is our status quo we find ourselves upon, is the Abbey has been abandoned for centuries. Gelgus has been doing his work, but mostly in the background, right? Like if you live on Ghyran, a guy going to somewhere in the middle of nowhere and doing a ritual to corrupt a ley line, probably not the top of your list.
No, yeah. You got other things to worry about.
Absolutely. Especially with the Abbey abandoned, right? It's not a place where people are currently living. It's not
not really paying attention to what's going on. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's the status quo we find ourselves in. That's the necessary backstory to know that what this game is the ley lines are finally weak enough. The wards are finally down. Gelgus is making his final attempt on the Abbey. And you are a band of ragtag plucky adventurers here to stop him, which is fun.
Okay. So my first question. So it's been warded. Has anyone been able to benefit from the Everspring this whole time, or has it just been totally blocked off?
It's pretty much been totally blocked off. There's been, at the time that we're not sure how this happened, when it happened. This could have been the case from the jump after the flood. But at the time that the game takes place, there is only one member of the Jade Circle left. And she has been keeping the wards. And she's been keeping the wards for 800 years.
What happens if it gets polluted?
We don't know. Bad. Real bad, probably.
Right, because this thing would no longer be functional, but would it spread?
Yes, probably. What would likely happen is similar to what we saw when Nurgle invaded Gairan. Disease is a form of life, right?
Yeah.
And so diseases powered by the Everspring, could potentially be ultimately devastating. And that's even before considering that if the Everspring is a source of Alariel's power, is in some way connected to Alariel, that could also be really bad for her.
Okay. This I was looking for what are the stakes here?
Yes,
what are we up against?
absolutely.
We don't want this to happen, but what would why? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
And also the potential that if we drive away Gelgus and are managed to reestablish the thing, maybe we can start using the Everspring again. That would be great. But yeah. So the bulk of this episode, and the part I'm most excited about, is we're going to talk about the heroes, the people, because it's not just generic warrior, wizard, or whatever. Each of these heroes that you can play as are their own characters with their own place in the setting, and some neat story stuff going on with them. So I'm going to hand you this book that just has all of the heroes on the same page.
Cool. Heroes of the Jade Abbey.
Yeah. So try not to read anything, but look for their image when I call them out.
Okay.
So we're going to start with that last member of the Jade Circle, Inara Scion. The Cleansing Blade. She's at the bottom of the page on the left.
Cool.
Yeah, her miniature is gorgeous. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the water. And how do they do that?
Right? Just incredible. The last living member of the Jade Circle has been using the Everspring to keep herself alive so that she can keep the wards, keep the corruption from spreading as best that she can.
Yeah.
Hasn't been able to venture out and seek help or anything because she's got to be here, helping to keep the
gotta protect it.
Protections up. Yep. But as the protections have failed, she is the person who calls this quest. She is the one who gets the attention of the other heroes, gets them to come help with the Abbey, basically.
Cool.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite character tropes, where she is stoic and direct on the outside. She's a person who has been shaped by routine and duty and necessity, but is still angry for specifically Gelgus's betrayal.
Yeah.
Not just that foes are out there, that's a thing that you just kind of always have to deal with, but specifically that it was a member of the Abbey.
For sure.
She is,
it's personal.
Yeah, it's personal. She's mad for the friend she lost. She's mad for the violation of their sacred duty, and she's mad that he's still out there, that he's still doing it. It wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment. It's just what he has committed to doing this bad thing. And so that all just simmers kind of below the surface for her, and that's fun characterization.
Yeah.
Each of these people I've kind of put their unique cool power at the end of their description.
Cool.
So we got a sense of them before we talk about it. But she is a water caster, someone who is specialized in magic that manipulates and controls water, similar to the Ideneth.
Yeah.
But whereas the Ideneth tend to do it through almost like a Shaishian magic oftentimes. She is a Gyranic water caster, so she is using the inherent life-giving properties of water. It's a little Avatar water bending a little bit.
Very water bending with she's got her mini is super cool. She's got a sword held aloft and also a jug of water tucked under her arm, and the water is being drawn up out of the jug around her head up to like the tip of the sword.
Yeah.
And it looks like in separate pieces, which is like obviously it can't be because that's not possible.
Right.
But like, how is it the paint? Is it is it the photo editing? Like, how is it looking like that? I would like to see the actual mini. Thank you.
He's got to anchor it to something, so it might be 2 pieces, but
It looks real cool.
it's very cool. That jar that she has on her is a ampule of water from the Everspring.
Ooh.
She keeps that on her at all times because she can use it as like healing or as cleansing, like specifically the mixture of it has its own like special water in her own arcane potential. She can use it to heal and like cleanse corruption and stuff. But also her sword is made of that water.
What?
Yeah.
Cool.
So the reason it goes to the tip of her blade is because she's using it to like form the water into her sword.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's real neat. I'm a big fan of. But yeah, that's Inara. So she's our like mentor figure. She's been keeping the Abbey for longer than basically everyone else has been alive. This is her fight most personally, and she is our stoic but passionate mentor figure. So let's talk about the opposite of that. Edmark Valoran.
Oh, okay.
Guy at the top. Yep. The Manticore Knight.
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah. I like his design a lot. He's got like a classic knight like accoutrement.
Yes.
Like the aesthetic is very good where knightly armor is 1 part like protection and 3 parts showing how cool you are.
Yeah, like his helmet has like a lion's helmet and wings, like that manticore imagery coming off of it. I'm like, that's gotta be so heavy.
Yeah.
Your neck. You gotta have such neck pain from having to hold that aloft with just your head.
Little preview of the Cities of Sigmar episode. The current leader of Hammerhall Aksha, which is the biggest city in the setting. It is our like center point from which Sigmar has like operated in the realms since the beginning, basically.
Yeah.
Is a like marshal of the like military forces whose signature thing is that she tamed and rides a manticore.
Fucking cool.
Yes. So the manticore has actually kind of become like we've alluded to it in a couple of other places, this idea between like Azerian settlers versus like the native born of the realms, and how they are on the same side, but there can be tension there between like you're coming in from like your safe like Silver Spoon realm to tell us how to do things when we've been surviving out here this whole time. That lady's name is Talia Vedra. She's native born of Akshi, and she has kind of unintentionally, like it's not a thing she intended, but her and the symbol of the manticore itself have become almost something of like a nativist symbol of like, okay, yeah, like Sigmar's help is good and we all worship Sigmar, but like blue-blooded Azerians coming down here and trying to tell us how to run things, that ain't the game. Like we're of like the manticore, we're of the realms, and that's cool. Yeah. So the Manticore Knight is in that tradition.
Okay.
He is proud. He's a knight of Hammerhall Aksha in the service of Talia, but he is proud and he is arrogant. But he's that frustrating kind of arrogance where he kind of has the skill to back it up.
Damn it.
Where it's like, where it's like, oh, you do incredible things in the service of Sigmar and the liberation of the realms. It's a shame you're such a dick about it.
Yeah, like why do you have to be the worst though?
Yes.
And there are literal chaos demons here.
Edmark considers himself the single greatest combatant in the armies of Hammerhall.
Okay.
Yep. Been on a nonstop rise in prestige, slowly building his like legacy and recognition throughout the armies of Hammerhall, volunteering for all the most like dangerous missions, like really truly like I said, if you're going to be an overconfident dick, then like absolutely least, go like, do the stuff. Yeah. Absolutely. We'll give him credit for that. But the reason he's on this quest is because he recently suffered a like hit to that prestige. Ooh. So during a recent conflict, a explosion on the battlefield sent shards of Emberstone, which is Akshi's Realmstone, like splinters of it just like into his skin.
Yikes!
And Akshi being the realm of passion and Realmstone being extremely potent, it basically like supercharged his own battle like frenzy to the point that he more or less single-handedly killed every enemy present. But also killed some of his comrades in the like blind fury.
no
Yes,
good, bro.
No good. Certainly not the kind of like image you are trying to present if you want to be this noble like knight persona, right? And so he is here for reasons twofold, right? He is undertaking this very dangerous quest so that he can like clear his name, so he can be like, no, look, like I am still this like noble personage. I am going out of my way to do something very dangerous for the benefits of the realms, but also because those shards of Realmstone are still in him. And he is hoping that the cleaning waters of the Everspring can help cure his affliction.
Yep, good call.
Yeah. So that's also what ties into his like unique like power for the quest stuff.
Ooh.
The Realmstone still afflicts him. It makes him passionate. It makes him reckless. And when he gets like too like adrenaline like fueled and too like battle ragey, he literally catches fire.
Flame fucking on!
Yeah. Which rips. I wish we had gotten like good art of that, because we don't really have much art of him except for his like key art stuff, but I would have loved a picture of him just with, because he doesn't like take his armor off or anything, so just like flames streaming out of the eye holes on his armor, like,
and like in the bins of the metal.
Yeah,
that's tight as hell.
Would have ripped. Yeah, I like Edmark because he's ambitious, he's like arrogant, but he got taken down a peg, and instead of just being like, no, you still all have to respect me, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go do something hard and dangerous for people's benefit so that you look up to me again. And it's like, good on you, bud.
All right, yeah.
Probably my favorite from this like host of characters, Bren Tillis. She's in the middle there.
Yeah, you mean the Renegade Saint?
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yep.
Your favorite is called the Renegade Saint. Please tell me more, Dalton Montgomery.
Yes, Bren Tillis, the Renegade Saint. So Bren is a sellsword, hard-bitten, like back alleys and dingy taverns mercenary. Sword for hire, anyone who will pay. Grim, humorless, hardline, just trying to eke out a living under no banner in this like very dangerous world. The kind of person you can imagine that life would create, right? But through no choice of her own, obviously, she is also the only living descendant of one Saint Yandara Tillis, a warrior of the Jade Circle, who died defending the Abbey in Gelgus's like.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, in Gelgus's betrayal. Saint Tillis was the most like decorated and honored like warrior saint of the Abbey. She held off Gelgus's forces long enough for the rains to actually like sweep through, and for that she was honored in reliquary, her like divine like armament and stuff set aside in reliquary, in waiting for like another noble hero to come take up her mantle, and once again go to like liberate the Abbey. A very like King Arthurian, like
once and future king type.
Yes, absolutely. Someone will again come and be worthy of. Bren's not that, right?
Nope,
she's a hard-bitten mercenary type, right? Just kind of the opposite of what you would expect for like the noble hero emerging from the mists to once again claim their mantle. Bren was led to the reliquary by the voice of her ancestor, the saint, with warnings of like Gelgus making his move on the Abbey and that someone needed to do something. Bren got to the reliquary and she was already on the fence, like wanted to follow this where it was going, but did not like, probably wasn't going to go for it because like
there's nothing in it for me.
Yeah, exactly. She's hard enough making the cash to get by as it is, but the people who kept the reliquary were like shitty to her. Not like real bad, but just like, oh, who's this like riffraff come to look at the reliquary? Sorry, we're waiting for a real hero. Could you move out of the way in case they show up? So she stole them.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. So yeah, motivated almost entirely by like spite, like, oh, I'll show you a real hero. She breaks into the reliquary. She steals the armor and sword of her ancestor. But she makes her way to the Jade Abbey just on pure like, I'll show you who's not a real hero. Yeah. think I can't be a real hero? Well, fucking watch me.
Nothing but respect. Yeah, hell
right.
yeah. I will succeed on pure fucking spite.
Right. Like I said, she's still not really on board with the hero thing. Like, there's a lot of walking to get from where she was at that moment to this moment. But she's here now. She's got the sword, she's got the armor, and she's just such a fun, like, fish out of water, like, where she has now this, like, divine mandate. Like, she has this power of, like, holiness and serenity and whatnot, like, coursing through her, and she's still just a, like, swearing on the battlefield, like, spitting her chewing tobacco on the polished floors, like, hard bit mercenary. And that's fun. I like that a lot. Like, she gives a duck from Adventure Zone.
Yeah. Amnesty. Yeah.
And that's but those are kind of our, like, we have other heroes here that I think are interesting, but those are kind of the main focus.
These are like our main. These would be like our main protagonists.
Yes,
and then we have like a strong supporting cast.
Yeah, those three have the most. Yeah, just like going on with their narrative, with their reasons for being here are all very tied into it, and you can see the, like, overall arc for them that has led them here. Right? Yeah. The others are fun. They're interesting, but I just don't think they're as realized as the others.
This guy's a centaur.
Yeah, he is. But we're not going to start with him. We're just going to go straight down the page on these ones.
Of course.
Starting with Drolf. Drolf Ironhead, the grizzled explorer, much more of an archetype than a character like the others have been, which we're, like I said, we're going to see with all four of these, I think. But Drolf's big thing is that he, uncommonly for a dwarf, does not, like, stay to a hold. He is a, like, outdoorsman, woodsman, like, adventurer, explorer. Uncommon for dwarves. Dwarves thrive on their community. They thrive on, like, access to their tools and craft and that kind of thing. And Drolf has always been, well, not always, but Drolf is more at home in the wild places of the world, like pitching tents, like looking at bugs,
sleeping under the stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
just a fun camping man, fun camping dwarf. Bad news, sad backstory.
Oh no!
Part of the reason he's like that is that flood that took out the abbey also destroyed his original mountain home.
Damn.
Yep. Hey, introducing a lot of water to a tunnel system just kind of kills everybody.
Oh no! You mean you shouldn't go into caves when it's raining?
Oh no!
We watched Moon Knight yesterday.
Yeah, we watched Moon Knight yesterday. It wasn't his fault.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But yes, orphaned by the flood, Drolf just, like, he was saved from the flood because he was outside at the time. So Drolf learned 2 lessons real quick: that he was just, like, alone in the world, and that, like, he was safer, like, being in the wilderness, a little bit of a coping mechanism there. But on that day, Drolf swore an oath to avenge his clan, and he has spent the intervening time, like, tracking Gelgus, like, just kind of keeping an eye on him and what he's doing, never in a situation to, like, try and stop him, but making sure that he wasn't, like, making too big of moves too fast. And so he was imminently aware when Gelgus finally made his move on the Abbey, and now he is here teaming up with these other heroes to try and finally put an end to him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Like I
As
said,
you would.
Archetypical, very straightforward, but it's fun. I like Drolf. And he's got a cool design. He's just like a little ranger dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah, danger dwarf, exactly. Yeah.
Next we have Kelthanor, the forest.
This is a centaur.
It is. So to talk about Kelthanor, we actually have to talk a little bit more about, like, Sylvaneth stuff, because we haven't really touched upon it yet.
Yeah.
We did briefly in the, like, Gyran episode when we were talking about, like, how weird, like, life magic is and, like, Gyranic magic, and Alariel herself specifically, where, because modern Alariel is a mix of 2 people. She's Alariel, the, like, high elven queen, but she's also Ariel, the old, like, wood elven queen, just, like, fused. Part of Ariel's old thing is that her husband would only live for a year.
Yeah.
Right? That was at the start of every winter, she would take, like, Orion would die, and she would take a new suitor, and over the course of the winter, that suitor would turn into Orion. Cycles, nature, rebirth.
Yeah.
So Orion himself, that happened because Orion was the aspect of Kurnoth, who is the god of the hunt.
Oh, cool.
So, yep. Nature and the hunt, like, companions. And while Orion didn't make it to the New World, Kurnoth did. Kurnoth was around during the Age of Myth.
Uh-huh.
Him and Alariel were just like directly married. They didn't go through like the whole Avatar thing because Alariel was like more of a god now, kind of, and like the stripping of like her elven like part also like kind of makes that more of a direct thing. Like Kurnoth is an elven god, but he's not really an elf. Like in the same way that like happens. But Kurnoth actually died during the Age of Chaos.
Damn.
Yes, Kurnoth was one of the first casualties of like Nurgle's invasion of, because he's the god of the hunt. He went to the front and he was laid low by Nurgle's plagues.
Oof.
Yes. The nature of like nature gods is that we keep getting hints that he's going to like come back, like cycles and rebirth, but he certainly can't while like Ghyran is still under such like siege, basically. All of that to say that kind of mixed in with and or adjacent to people who worship Alariel on Ghyran are people who just worship Kurnoth.
Okay.
The Kurnothi are humans, elves, etc., who worship the god of the hunt, who keep his like holy dictate to defend Ghyran, but also just like keep the traditions of the hunt. And a weird thing about Kurnothi from a meta perspective is that Kurnothi describes, like I said, just anyone who is part of this like culture of worship around Kurnoth. But also, sometimes Kurnothi is the thing that we call centaurs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like a centaur is a Kurnothi, and we don't know yet if that's a cultural thing, or just like a lot of centaurs are Kurnothi, or if like being a centaur is a thing that happens to you. Because that's what a lot of people point to. All centaurs have pointed ears, like elves do.
Yeah.
So some people are like, yeah, as you like rise through the ranks of being like a Kurnothi, you take on traits of the hunt, right? You get the antlers and you get the legs.
Okay.
Because there are also fawn, like where you just have goat legs.
Yeah.
And they're also always like in Kurnoth. Like we've never seen. I guess it's most accurate to say we've never seen a like non-Kurnothi centaur.
Okay.
So that it's just, this is the only crowd they run in. So yeah, like we just don't know a lot about the Kurnothi yet. Is mostly what it is. A lot of people expect like Kurnoth will eventually get his own model release, and then we'll get like centaur models for Sylvaneth, and it'll be a whole thing. But until that happens, we just kind of don't know.
Okay.
It's a Malarian Tyrion situation.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah. Sensing a trend with the male counterparts of our big female elf goddesses.
Yeah.
But yeah, so long story short, Kelthanor is a Kurnothi prince.
Okay.
He is part of a tribe called the Golden Hunt.
Cool name.
Yeah. They are nomadic, and part of their leadership rituals is that their leaders must undertake a great and dangerous hunt before they are allowed to assume power.
Okay.
So it's not just like you were born the prince and the king is dead, so now you get to be king. It's you have to go out and prove yourself specifically in line with the thing that we value before any of us will listen to you. And like, honestly, good.
Yeah.
Like that's a better system.
Yeah.
Kelthanor has chosen Gelgus as his prey for his hunt. Yep.
What a choice.
Doing so protects Ghyran,
of course.
right? It removes an enemy of the Everqueen and nature itself. And Gelgus is a powerful and dangerous foe. So, like, absolutely,
checks all the boxes.
Checks all the boxes. Until Kelthanor kills Gelgus, or like aids in the killing of Gelgus, he both cannot assume his like mantle as king, and also he can't go home.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
It is a like pilgrimage in exile, basically. Kelthanor is arrogant in a noble way, parentheses negative, where it's about the like, oh yes, I'm a prince, so I'm better than you are.
Oh no, the worst kind.
Right. But he, like our Manticore Knight before him, he does back that up by being genuinely skilled and genuinely brave. Right? Like he does think he's better than all of us because he's noble, but he will throw himself in front of like allies to protect them because that is a king's duty. It's that kind of like, I'm a better like class of person, which is why you don't understand self-sacrifice like I do. Which is crazy. But like,
I like that more than I'm a better class of person and therefore I am more valuable than you and you should sacrifice yourself for me.
Yes.
Like, that's still a way to be, but like, okay.
Yeah. It's a little...
At least you're not going to exploit people, it sounds like.
it's a little bit of an intersection with like the elfish thing broadly too, where like the Lumineth have the like, of course we're the best. We're the Lumineth. That's why we are going to atone the best, and we're going to prostrate ourselves before the elements the best, and we're going to do redemption so hard you won't even believe it, right? Like it's bringing that energy to like a genuinely good thing.
No one does self-redemption like the Lumineth, but to the tune of the Gaston song.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of that, yeah. But yeah, that's Kelthanor. Again, like this is the a little bit archetypical. He's not even really here for the Abbey. He's just after Gelgus, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he's here to help, but like he's not going to be sticking around like once the threat's gone because he doesn't care about this building. He's going to go be king.
And he's not going to call you. You're not friends.
No, absolutely.
Which is not a bond we made. I'm going to go be king. I was going to ask, like, in the gameplay mechanic, like, if his, like, piece isn't the one to take out, like, Gelgus, does it not count?
I don't know. That's a great question. Because, like, he's here to hunt Gelgus.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming, like, because, like, if you take 5 guys out and you get the thing you're after, it's a successful hunt, so.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, if you take a group out, like, even if you're not the one who personally, like, took down the big, like, prey animal you were all after, but you were part of, like, getting it to go the direction it needed to go, and, like, that still counts. Everybody wins. But if you're specifically is like, I'm gonna go kill that guy, does it still count if you helped someone else kill that guy?
Yeah, I would assume so. Also, aside, I know that's not how modern hunting works. Commenters, in like a pre,
I'm talking like
technological revolution. No,
I
just heard someone in the back of my comment section being like, actually, it's the person who tags it that did the hunt correctly. And it's like that's not what we're talking about.
I'm sorry,
like,
this person worships a god of the hunt and has a bow and arrow and also is a centaur. What part of that would have made us to think that we were referring to like modern human hunting structures in our world? Like, no. I was thinking like ancient prehistoric.
No,
like...
absolutely. I'm on the same level as you. I'm just cutting off the pedantry.
Absolutely. I was like, no, you're right. Let's be clear.
There might be something even about it in his like mechanics or stuff where like in the game he like gets better like chance to hit Gelgus or something. Like I could see that, but I don't know.
Cool. I don't know.
It's fun.
Hey, if you've played this, let us know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like, is that somewhere in the rules section in one of the hidey hole things? Or is it like, if you play the game a lot, is it like, is there, like you're doing the honor run in Baldur's Gate where you have invented these rules to like make the game more challenging, to try to do this thing? Like, is there a version of the gameplay where it's like, okay, and we have to make sure Kelthanor is the one that actually takes out our big bad. Like we have to win, but he has to be the one to blow to do the final hit.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. Our next guy is Drashervorn, the rampaging beast.
Tight.
He's got a cool name. He's got a cool look. He's not a vampire.
All right. I was kind of giving the vibe of those like shape-shifting vampires that turn into like bears and wolves and stuff. So.
Absolutely. No, I can see why you'd think so.
Cool.
He is actually the chieftain of the Eric Clore tribe.
That's too many hard consonants right next to each other. Dang. Bad name. Been a while since Jaren said thumbs down on a name.
That is a tribe of humans from Gur.
Hey, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Who worship Alariel as, quote, the maker of.
Cool.
So it is it's an aspect of like, because that's part of the dominion of life, right?
Yeah.
Like they're into all the beast stuff, but it's like, no, like Gorkamork is not our guy because he's about destruction and stuff. We are specifically recognizing the role that nature has in like the beast, right?
Yeah.
Like that's great. Like Gyran and Gur are already like companion realms. Like absolutely. Like that's fun. And I love it when we get different interpretations of like the same god.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. The Arak Clore possess an artifact known as the Ebon Claw.
Cool.
It is a strange artifact from the Age of Myth that allows the wielder to take on a bestial form by drawing their own blood with it.
Oh shit! Okay.
So you do the like flagellant, like strike yourself with the claw, and you like blood rage enter into a bestial form, which is what we see Drashervorn in there. Cool. His miniature is just him in his bestial form because why
he's
wouldn't
like
it be?
werebearing out.
Yeah, he's assaulting the Abbey, like, or he's here to help the Abbey. He would not be in his combat form. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Drasher has been leading his tribe. They've been doing great. But recently, those who use the Ebon Claw, sometimes the magic, like, twists.
Ooh.
It corrupts. It doesn't, like, turn them into, like, the form of the noble beast that, like, corrupts them.
Shoot.
And as it's like the like artifact that's like a super important artifact to his tribe. Drasher volunteered to seek out the Jade Abbey, a place of like myth and legend, to try and restore the Ebon Claw in the Everspring, to remove its like curse.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, right. Again, so like he's here for the Everspring, but like to him the Jade Abbey is this thing of like legend. He's out here looking for El Dorado. Like he's not even
like I was gonna say looking for fucking Camelot.
Yeah. He's not even here. Like he just kind of circumstantially. I mean, him and Kelthanor, both kind of just circumstantially show up to like this fight because they have their own goals. Like, and that's fun. I do like that.
Yeah. Like for Kelthanor, if you're looking for Gelgus and you hear he's after the Jade, he's after like the Everspring and the Jade Abbey, you just know like, all right, I gotta go there. Drasher just happened to show up while things were popping off. This could have happened 50 years before or 50 years later. His timing is impeccable.
Yes.
This is by fate's design that he is here with us today.
Yeah. But that's Drasher.
Cool.
He's just here. He's hanging out. And our last hero of the Jade Abbey is Gelgus Vine, who has a fun name.
It is a fun name. He's got a fun staff.
Yeah.
And a fox wolf friend made of plants.
Yeah. Gelgus Vine
and no shoes.
Yeah. Gelgus Vine is a Jade Wizard in the cosmology of the Collegiate Arcane, which is the like cities of Sigmar and like kind of grand human tradition of magic, where like elves tend to learn magic a certain way, dwarves tend to like not do a lot of magic, or when they do, it's like it's in the same like kind of craftsmanly like apprenticeship model. Humans invented colleges.
Of course
humans invented the Collegiate Arcane. You go to school to learn magic. You don't have to be born with the capacity for magic, but everyone is born with a different like capacity for magic. So someone with like no magical skill can still learn magic, but some people are just going to be better at it like out the jump, like
Sports.
Everything else in the world. Yeah, exactly. That's just what a person is. In the tradition of the Collegiate Arcane, each of the like traditional winds of magic and their realms has a like short form for what you call that person. So a master of action magic, fire magic, and passion, and like everything that accompanies that is a bright wizard. A master of death magics, not necessarily necromancy, but just control over the like flow of death, is a amethyst wizard. Most of them are gemstones or colors. Bright's kind of an outlier, but like a master of shamanic metallurgic magic is a gold wizard, and a jade wizard is a master of Gyranish magic.
That makes sense.
Yep. Life magic and everything that entails. So deep connection to nature. That's why he's barefoot. Good clock. Because he wants to feel the soil beneath his feet.
Of course.
Jade wizards are like 3/4 of the way to being druids. We don't like have druids really in like the human tradition in Warhammer. Jade wizards just are that. Like Jade wizards or Amber wizards, which is what Gurish wizards are.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Where you are taking the magic into yourself, you are learning it, studying it so much that it becomes a part of you, and when something is a part of you, how can you not like live in that like part of it, basically, right?
Cool.
Yeah. He is attuned to Gyran in a way that only like a wizard of Gyranish magic can be.
Of course.
And so he is another example of someone who who just kind of like ended up showing up here. But it's because he could feel the ley lines weakening. He knew that something was going down at the Everspring even before he like got here to confirm it, basically. Yes. He can feel the like coming fall of the Everspring, quoted in the book, even more intently than a Nara can. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But again, it's through his connection to Gyran, through his connection to Alariel. Like, and this is our only real solid look into what the potential consequences of the Everspring would be. Because we have the like, it'd be bad like if a Nurglish plague was powered by the Everspring and it could potentially affect Alariel. But Jacobus specifically thinks that should the Everspring be polluted or destroyed or corrupted or anything of that nature, it would usher in what he calls an Age of Entropy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No
It's
good.
real bad.
Don't want an Age of Entropy.
No, especially because Age of Sigmar is real particular with the things it calls ages, right? Like, and that would imply like an end to the Age of Sigmar
Yeah.
into the Age of Entropy, which is worse.
Yeah, not good. Would be bad.
His little bird friend is called a spite owl.
No.
Yeah, he just have a mean expression.
I don't know. He's pretty cute. I'm seeing this owl and I just want to smoosh his face. I'm sure he'd bite me real bad, but worth it.
He's probably connected to spite is one of the like aspects of the Sylvaneth. It's one of the aspects that like dryads can be in is spite, and so he's probably connected to like dryads in some way. Like Alariel oversees like most of the Sylvaneth, but a bunch of splintered off to follow a tree spirit named Dryka, who's real mean and shitty, and she's like the unofficial leader of the spite like side of
course,
where Alariel's still like, ooh, like symbiosis and everybody working together, and Dryka's from the old world.
Is everyone from the old? Sometimes it feels like everyone is just from the old world.
She got preserved by Alariel, and it might not be the same her. It's the clone question where it's like, is it her or did Alariel regrow Dryka from what she remembers of the real Dryka, right? But Dryka's plan now, as in then, was what if we kill everyone who isn't a tree? Like,
okay, Dryka.
What if
that's one option?
What if we
circle back?
What if we fix deforestation by killing everyone who isn't a tree?
What if we put a pin in that?
Right.
We can circle back. We'll circle back.
And also bees can stay.
And also bees can. You would want the bees to stay if you were a tree.
That's her ability in game, is that she has a shooting attack that has like 30 shots, and it's because she's just unloading bees at you,
so she can do it with
which
bees.
is very funny. She's got honeycombs on her shoulders, which is
tight.
cool. Yeah. Not the point. So I would assume spite. They don't give us any further clarification, but I assume spite owls are probably related to the Sylvaneth in some way.
That makes sense.
And then definitely related to, like, if not the Sylvaneth specifically, Gyranch magic. Absolutely, is that like fox spurred creature is a nature spirit.
Cool.
He is just like a kind of a wild nature spirit that acts as Jacobus's familiar, just letting him more easily channel the power of Gyran and guiding him and teaching him things in the way a familiar might. He does not have a name, but Jacobus likes to call him Whisper.
Oh, cute. I like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a fun
that's very
name.
cool. Very cool.
Right? But that's our heroes of the Jade Abbey. I like our little collection of characters, even the kind of more archetypical, like utilitarian ones.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a big fan of Bren, obviously, but that is not all for this episode. We have
I
a
would
little
imagine
bit
it's
more.
not.
Yes, we have a little bit more I want to talk about, because for every good hero, you need good villains.
Show me the villains.
You want to turn the page there, just one page.
Ah!
Yeah, they're
I've been
gross.
sitting here trying to figure out what the Demon Prince is going to look like, and you know what? I did not think horns and hooves.
Yeah,
I'll
right?
be honest. I was pretty right. Because it's Nurgle, and so I knew we were gonna get probably like a Demon Prince of Nurgle is gonna have like the physicality of Nurgle.
Yes.
But I didn't. The antlers, the hooves, the awful grimacing grin is gonna haunt my dreams.
Yep.
Oh, Prince of Sores.
Yes,
I'm so sorry.
yes.
He's
Gelgus Pust. Pust is his honorific, Prince of Sores. You can't see it well in that picture, but he has big fly wings that are folded up on his back.
Oh no, yeah. Can he fly?
He probably can. Most demon princes can.
Okay.
But it's unclear.
The wings have to be pretty strong. He's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
Okay.
Yeah, Gelgus Pust, that is his like demonic prince form. The kind of like weird, almost wooden like antlers are like a Nurgle thing. I'm not sure why, but like Great Unclean ones have them as well.
Yeah, now that I'm like remembering Nurgle, he has something like that.
He's got little like antlery horns kind of.
Yeah.
But it's also meant to evoke Gyran.
That makes sense.
It is a intentional like one part acknowledgement, one part mockery of the life that Pust lived before. It's like, ooh, because antlers are a sign of Gyran. That's why Trug has them. Our Troggoth friend from the Gitz episode.
Yeah.
Who was asleep on Gyran for a long time. Antlers, are a sign of wild magic. And so it's almost like a mockery of like, ooh, look, I corrupted your like pious thing. I took your thing and I twisted it to be bad. That's probably also why the hooves, right?
Yep. That. Okay, I'm gonna put the book down. I can't keep looking at him.
But yeah, that's Gelgus. We already talked about Gelgus's thing. That's most of it. He's back now. He's trying to like finish what he started. So we don't have much more to talk about with Gelgus. But we do have his like menagerie, like his
menagerie, his retinue, if you will.
Yeah, his buddies who are here.
Okay.
I'm gonna briefly mention the Cankerborn. I didn't put them in my notes, but I think they're neat.
They're awful.
They're awful. The Cankerborn are demons, and they are demons born of like the desecration of the land specifically.
Oh.
So when you just like do shitty things to like the environment, it can create a Cankerborn.
Yeah,
that's it. But I think that's interesting. I think that's neat. Like
they've got like because they look more environmental.
Yes.
Like this dude's got like they both got like rocky stuff. This feels like pieces of wood and things coming from them. Yeah, just like fucked up terrain. I guess is the description I was looking for.
Absolutely. They're almost like corrupted spirits of the land a little bit.
Yeah,
which is fascinating. I'm way into that. But let's talk about the other characters, like the actual like peoples who follow Gelgus in this endeavor. First, we got Belga the Cyst Witch.
Cool.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck?
Belga was once a priestess of the Abbey. So she's been with Gelgus from the jump.
Oh.
Yep. Belga was with Gelgus like from his initial betrayal. She has always been like working with him with her intentions specifically. Like if Gelgus wanted the political power, she had always been denied the like almost religious significance of being able to tend the Everspring. She wanted to be the person in charge of the Everspring. And she was denied that in a grandiose way, has like eaten at her, where like Gelgus is patient. Gelgus has been like working this long game, but Belga like sold in on that one desire and has been kept from it for centuries. And it has driven her pretty mad. Like she has taken to emulating as much as she can. This is the body horror part of Belga. If you look under her cloak a little bit there, you'll see she has more arms.
Oh. Yeah, that's more arms than I thought.
She's not like mutated into like a maggot person. Her thing is that she keeps grafting bodies to herself.
Oh, human centipede. Oh, yeah, there's a face underneath there I see with the actual doing the stirring of this awful, awful cauldron.
Yes.
Oh, good lord.
The Everspring traditionally kept by like a whole like conclave of like Sisters of the Everspring. Belga has created her own Sisterhood of the Everspring by just grafting like bodies to herself. She calls them her sisters. Like.
Oh. Oh, honey, okay. Good heavens. The close-up on her face is like kind of giving Rita Repulsa.
Oh, yeah.
But Hagwitch.
Yes. She carries that cauldron around. It's just full of like horrifying like gore of people that have been killed and like diseases and everything. But she is fully bought into the fact that it's like a cauldron of like Everspring water.
Oh, she's crazy.
Yes.
She's full on
very
insane.
Crazy.
Oh, okay.
And she will, quote unquote, baptize her foes in her cauldron as a like, here, come here, like I'll help you. Like, why are you like struggling against like me helping you in the Everspring water here when it's just a horrifying like bubbling cauldron of gross viscera.
My gosh.
Just the worst.
Nope.
Just the worst.
So distressing. Wow.
So she's here to finally get the thing that she wants. We've got the, I think, pox wretches on this page.
Wretches.
We're not going to talk about them much. They're just like foot dorks. They serve entirely a like mechanical role where it's just like, oh, we need a bad guy who's not too strong.
Your horde beasts. Yeah. Just the whole army your heroes can just slaughter through.
They follow in a grand tradition of like, what's our minimum amount of chaos cultists to a specific god? So there are Nurgle aligned Carrick acolytes, or I can't think of what the corn ones are called. Blood Ragers, I want to say.
Sure.
Or like Reavers, maybe.
Ooh.
I
Blood
don't remember
Reavers is
what
pretty cool.
Slaaneshes are called. But yeah, they're just are like, you walk the path of Nurgle and you're very barely starting. You're not cool enough yet to get good armor.
Oh, yeah. You have to earn that.
But yeah, if you turn the page,
Ooh.
Mulgoth the Cleaver.
It is scary as fuck.
Right? Mulgoth is Gelgus's big guy. He's strong, he's humorless, he's mean, he does what he's told. Gelgus was not like at the Jade Abbey. He's fallen in with her Mulgoth. Mulgoth was not at the Jade Abbey. He's fallen in with Gelgus in the aftermath. Specifically, he fell in with Nurgle first, and then he was led to Gelgus as like his commander, basically. But Mulgoth was once a knight of the realm. We don't get like indication of where specifically, but he was like a knighted like protector, defender, but he caught a like debilitating disease, and while they were sympathetic, his companions like abandoned him, basically.
Ooh, yeah.
Like they were probably out on a mission or a quest or something of that nature, and rather than like keep him with them where the disease could spread, there it was a very like sorry bud, like
we gotta
you're taking this one for the team by being left behind. Mulgoth, that really affected Mulgoth.
Yeah.
And so now, because he ventured with those people under this like understanding of like, oh, we are all noble people who would sacrifice much to like defend others.
Yeah.
And he sees them like abandoning him as a betrayal of that idea.
Yeah.
Where in my time of need, you didn't like protect me.
Yeah.
And that has mutated into like full blown psychosis on his part, where now he sees anyone who presents or portrays themselves as heroic or noble as like that, as it's just a facade, something that they are using to try and trick people into trusting them. So he takes great pleasure in specifically going after people who like act heroic. That, I mean, he's not a super complex character, but that is kind of that's his bit, where he's just like, nope, everyone's an asshole, and if you try and pretend you're not an asshole, it's just because you're trying to trick like the people around you, and I am going to cut you in half because I'm
with my big scary axe.
Yes, big powerful mutated guy. We've got a couple more like just little like enemies from the book who I'm not going to spend a ton of time on. We've got our Blight Templars.
This one's got his guts coming out. I hate that.
Yeah, that's Nurgle.
I know where we're at. I know we're in Nurgle land. Like, I understand what's behind every corner.
Blight Templars are just, we're the pox riches, but we have armor.
They've upgraded.
Yeah.
They're climbing up that social ladder.
Their bit is like fever, and so they're like weirdly twitchy and like fast for Nurgle line stuff, because they're like embody fever as an aspect of disease instead of like lethargy, which is what a lot of like Nurglish diseases are. But yeah, there's armored guys. Mire Kelpies.
Mire Kelpies are even scarier than regular Kelpies, which are already pretty fucking scary.
Corrupted like water, corrupted by diseases and stuff that makes them into gross little monsters. And then we're gonna save the next one because we have to talk about their boss. Shaman Fellhoof.
Is it Fellhoof or Foulhoof?
Foulhoof, thank you.
It's just that one's a pretty
no,
good
yeah,
name.
it's absolutely.
He's a scary goat man.
He's a scary goat man. Shaman Foulhoof is a gore. Those are the like beast peoples who are like creatures of chaos, but do not generally serve in the way that like other chaos worshippers do.
Okay.
Like human being is not a creature of chaos.
Yeah.
They might turn to chaos. They might join chaos, but they will never be of chaos in the way that a gore is. Gores are of chaos.
Interesting.
Gores loathe civilization. They loathe building and like cities and anything that like creates structure in the world. Gores do not traditionally take names. That's a big thing generally in Gore society. They only take them when they have to interact with people who get weird if they don't have one.
This is to make you feel better.
Yes. Specifically, one of the lines is, name what am I, some milksop who needs to be reminded of who he is. And traditionally, Gores do not worship any one chaos god. They are transactional. I will sacrifice to you today for what you will do for me today. Because
Interesting.
allegiance, devotion are the weaknesses of the civilized. What we have is the beast's bargain. Like,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah. Gores are cool. They used to have their own army, and they don't anymore.
Oh.
All their models are like super duper old, like out of print stuff, and it was just
I
like,
would be like, how is this the first time hearing about like these beings of chaos that are not demons?
yeah.
Like, how is this the first I'm here? I'm like, how has this not come up before? Because I feel like fundamentally the fact that there are, do they come from the chaos realms?
No.
What the fuck are they? Wait, hold on.
They seemingly have just kind of always they're like endemic to the world in the same way that magic is endemic to the world.
Even before the
Yes, Gore
Age
were
of
around in the
Chaos.
Age of Myth. Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes. We have talked about them a little bit before, just through like our Zinch stuff. Zangors, the bird men, are Gores.
Oh, okay,
yes.
okay.
But they're just, again, Gores who align themselves to a particular chaos god are an exception.
Okay.
They are treated as weird by other Gores, and outcast from Gorish society because
we don't do that.
strict devotion is a weakness.
Okay.
Yes. But
Pestigores.
Pestigores, yes.
Okay.
The I'm going to answer the question we get the most when we talk about the different kinds of Gores real quick for everybody.
Okay.
Because each of the Gores aligned with each of the 4 like major chaos gods, except for the rat. He has his own guys.
Yep.
Has its own type of name. We have Cornagors for corn, and we have Zangors for Zinch, and we have Slanagors for Slanesh, and we have Pestigores.
Like pestilence.
Yes, for Nurgle, because don't say it out loud. Think in your head real quick what that would sound like to put Nurgle's name on the front of that word.
That's good for them.
Yep. So that's, yeah, if you've ever wondered why it's Pestigores instead of the other one, now you know.
And now you know.
Now
And this is a totally fine workaround.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, Shaman Foulhoof, ally of circumstance. Foulhoof is the leader of a tribe of Pestigore known as the Flyblown. The Flyblown worship Nurgle by intentionally themselves contracting as many diseases as they can, and then going on these like great pilgrimages across the world trying to spread them.
Oh.
Yep. So you just load up on all of the different infections you can get, and then you wander through every town you can find, hoping that it spreads to the populace there. That is their like grand pilgrimage, like worship of the god of disease.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Sham, part of their like route always takes them through the Abbey, and they almost treat it as kind of like a pilgrimage site of like here was a great conflict between like the forces of order and Lord Nurgle, and so they just kind of happen to be coming through when Gelgus is doing his thing, and they are just happen to, they were probably drawn together by Nurgle, and so Shaman Foulhoof is compelled to help Gelgus because they are both in service of Nurgle, but he doesn't like Gelgus, and he isn't really in on his plan, and he's not like super jazzed with him as a person. It's just, hey, like boss man says we're working together, even though I find you weird and bad. Like,
I find you unsavory.
yeah, weird and bad in a way different from how I am weird and bad, because I am weird and bad, and I reckon, and I know that, and I love that because I'm
but I don't
weird
like
Pestigore
your
guy.
flavor
Yes.
of weird and bad.
Yep. So yeah, Shaman Foulhoof is just here to also help because that is service to Nurgle, and he has roped his Pestigore into aiding in that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got, it's good to have weekend plans.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is the bad guys of the Jade Abbey.
Okay.
The rest is just like rules reference.
Cool.
Yeah. But will these brave heroes overcome Gelgus Pust? That's not a question we can answer, unfortunately. That's a question you got to answer at home with your own copy of this board game if you have it or not.
Is this a single player game? Like, how many people play it? How do you play it? Like, if I wanted to play it, how many people do I need to ask?
I think you can play it single player, but I think it goes up to 4. And so that's also part of the replayability is you don't get every hero in every run. Yeah.
Is it like you're the heroes?
Yes.
It's not like when you're actually doing like a Warhammer like game session where someone could be like chaos.
No.
Chaos is the game is chaos.
Yes. The game has, I think it's like a card system where it like draws cards and it's like, oh, move the bad guy with the most health closest to like whatever hero and have him make an attack or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And it scales up in, like I said, like what route you're taking through the Abbey, I would assume, and like starting out at like the book delineates the Abbey into like 3 layers, where there's like the ruined upper layer.
Yeah,
and
I just got to that here. I'm flipping through. This is tight,
right? And like the land outside the Abbey doesn't have much of the like actual forces of Gelgus, but that's where you're going to run into like Cankerborn and the Mire Kelpies and stuff like that, because corruptions of the land. And then you have to get down into the actual like still clean antechambers.
You're just going like down lower and lower into because you can see it's like real fucked up on the surface, but as you get lower, things start to look probably more like they did when the Abbey was functioning.
Yeah. And you're fighting, you got like Gelgus's like generals that you're encountering at different like points and stuff. Like probably, I would assume you fight like Shaman Foulhoof and his Pestigors outside, because they don't like buildings. Type stuff. But I think it's meant to be played as like a series of like sessions where you just like play one board over the course of like an evening, and then you come back and your character still has their like items they found in that like level or whatever, damage they sustained and whatnot, and move on to the next like space.
This is really cool,
right?
Like this is a really cool facet of like the Warhammer fandom.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely people who only like engage with Warhammer through Quest, like where they just treat it like another board game where you build the minis and paint them up and put it on your shelf, and when friends come over, you bust out Gelgus and the boys and like throw a centaur at them.
Not Gelgus and the boys. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually went to Gelgus's page again. Oh no,
he's terrible.
He's terrible, but like purposefully, like 10 out of 10. Would avoid at all costs.
Yep. But that's Darkwater. That's the Jade Abbey.
Cool.
This episode also is kind of serving as our like little look at Nurgle stuff again a little bit. I'm hoping to. I don't know if. Because there's a lot of stuff that's happened since we talked about like some factions where it's not enough to facilitate its own episode, but I want to find places to talk about them. Yeah. All this coincided with like Nurgle getting their latest new like release. So like
good for them.
You can play Gelgus in the full game of like Age of Sigmar. You can play the Cankerborn in the full game of Age of Sigmar. And so this was meant to kind of coincide with that. Maybe at some point we'll do a like, because like New Zinch book is coming out, just announced way into that. We got a bunch of Skaven stuff like literally right after we recorded our episode on Skaven.
Rude.
So if you've been waiting for us to talk about like Vizek Scour and oh no, I can't Criddock. He's like a bald Skaven.
Oh
like,
no!
If you've been waiting for us to talk about them, like it's coming at some point. It's probably going to be like a mixed episode with a couple of faction catch-up updates. Yeah, like new Khorne stuff when their tome came out.
Grab bag episode.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be exciting. But the next couple of episodes, super excited. I've already started the notes on them. The next couple episodes are going to be Cities of Sigmar. We're finally doing it. We're going to talk about...
Let's do it!
All the big cities, all of our big faces, the kind of like founding and the like politicking that's happening inside of the free cities, and like I said, that tension between like the Azerians who like founded most of these cities, like are the initial force pushing back against chaos, and the people who like live here and have had to live here and have never experienced that like comfort and safety of Azyr and being told what to do by like
wouldn't go over so well like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a brewing. I like that even in like our quote unquote like good guy faction, things can be complicated.
Yeah.
Things can be like hard and difficult and no right answers. And all of that is not an excuse to just be shitty, right? Like, because there's still good and there's still progress and there's still like people working together even when it's complicated. And so I love Age of Sigmar. But
tight.
Right. But yeah, until then, I have been your, I already forgot what they're called, Blight Templar, Dalton Montgomery.
And I'm Darien Smart. And I heard there's a cave full of lilies that I'd love to draw. Do you want to come with me?
Have a good one.
Take care, everybody.